gentlemen,
welcome to Ho Chi Minh.
This might be your first time going to Ho Chi Minh. Maybe it's your seventh, but either way, we all come here for the same reason. To figure out what makes this city so special. And honestly, I'm here to tell you that Ho Chi Minh is one of my favorite places in the world. There's something about this city. The energy never slows down. The scooters flying through the streets, tiny plastic chairs packed into sidewalks, the smell of meats and Vietnamese coffee in the air, locals waking up before the sunrise while the city somehow feels awake from the night before. It feels chaotic, but in a way, somehow works perfectly together. And joining me on this beautiful journey is my two best friends, Henry and Andy. Now, before I get into who these guys are and why traveling with them is always a mess in the best way, we need to make our first stop of the day. Because no Vietnam trip ever starts on an empty stomach. So today, we are stopping at a very popular Xoi Ga place called Xoi Ga Number, which is actually Michelin recommended, super well known with the locals here. Now, if you never had Xoi Ga before, it's basically sticky rice served with chicken. But this place turns something so simple into comfort food perfection. The sticky rice is super fragrant and flavorful, topped with shredded chicken, crispy fried shallot sauce, and all these little textures that somehow work perfectly together. What makes this place so popular is that it's affordable. It's quick, it's consistent. You see students, workers, families, tourists, literally all kinds of people coming. And I think that's what makes it Michelin, right? It's cool because it proves that amazing food doesn't always need to be fancy. It just needs to be simple. Sometimes the best meals are the ones served in these tiny local shops with plastic stools.
Wow, that Mom. I don't know if I'm hungry or it tastes incredible. But every little bite is so intricate in this Bánh Ga Soy. So good. A very strong start to the day on this eating journey. And this was only like 45K dong. That's literally nothing.
Now, when I said I was going to introduce you to my two best friends, you probably met Henry before. He's been in a lot of my videos already. And honestly, people would say he's the lovable one of the group. And then there's Andy. He's popped up in a couple of videos too, but man, this guy always eating in every single clip I record. Like every time. Like look at this. Somehow he has food in his hand right now. But enough about them. Because what we're doing next is something I genuinely think everybody has to do when they come to Vietnam. Get coffee. Vietnam's coffee culture is on another level. Coffee here isn't just a drink, it's part of everyday life. People sit at cafes for hours talking, working, relaxing, watching the scooters go by, and every cafe has its own personality and style. While there's tons of specialty drinks out there, like the egg coffee I had this morning at Egg Drop.
I'm trying to get coffee because that guy's tired as shit.
And honestly, Vietnam's coffee is somehow the best in the world. It's strong, it's rich, bold, slightly chocolatey, and somehow smooth at the same time. Now, Vietnam is actually one of the largest coffee producers in the world, especially known for their Robusta beans, which gives their coffee that super intense flavor and caffeine kick. There's just something about sitting in a cafe in Ho Chi Minh City, sweating from the humidity, hearing the scooters fly, and drinking an ice-cold coffee while watching the city move around you. And after fully caffeinating ourselves, we decided it was time to eat again, because honestly, that's all we've been doing this trip.
Looks like 79K for a Bánh Căn, and I am down. Ooh, damn. So you got your meat, you got your shrimp, you got your crab, you got your prawns, you got a little bit of everything, and the meat food for the bad. Man, this is just crazy. Let's try this place.
Tonight, we're trying Bánh Căn, which is a thick Vietnamese crab noodle soup that is super rich and comforting.
So here we go. Here's the broth, nice and beautiful. Do a little bit of chili on top. You have some green onions. You have fish cake and everything listed right there. Beautiful crab. Jesus, all translucent and beautiful.
What makes this place so special is that it feels deeply local. A lot of tables, a loud kitchen, steam everywhere, and you can definitely see the chefs cooking in the back. It's kind of a meal that's comforting the second it hits the table. And honestly, this is exactly why I love Ho Chi Minh. Amazing coffee, unbelievable food, non-stop energy, and the moments that somehow feel chaotic is so comforting all at once. Nighttime's when the city comes alive. If you've ever been to Vietnam, or at least been to Ho Chi Minh, you know exactly what I mean. Everything literally changes. two kind of ways to experience the nightlife here, right? The first is going to somewhere like Ben Ye Street Food Market. Right, the second you walk into this place, you're hit with the smell of grilled seafood. Skewers smoking over charcoal, fresh herbs, sizzling meat, and Vietnamese snacks being cooked right in front of you. Every corner has someone yelling out menu items, pouring beers, or trying to get you to sit down at their table. It's definitely a little bit more touristy and a bit pricier than the local street stalls, but honestly the atmosphere makes up for it. But if you really want to experience another side of Ho Chi Minh, well, you can experience the bar scene. Honestly, the bars here are not like your average bars back home. Right now we're gonna see if they even sell food at this one.
And Henry's asking if there's food here.
You didn't ask.
And you think there's even food here or what?
Food? We're about to find out.
Places like District K feel a little less like a normal nightlife spot, but more like an entire performance. Dancers gonna be moving through the crowd, and somehow every venue has its own personality. One bar feels futuristic and cinematic, and another feels underground and intimate, and another feels like a full-on nightclub mixed with a dinner show.
Yo, we're getting trapped right now. What the fuck? We're getting trapped right now. They said there's food. All I see is 90% liquor and alcohol.
And what surprised me most is that the food is actually good here. It's not just the drinks and the music. You can order a full meal, like literally Vietnamese fusion dishes, right? Seafood, grilled meats, cocktails with crazy presentation. Every place feels curated to keep you there for the entire night. At one point, we kind of forgot we even came for the food because we got so caught up in the atmosphere itself. And I think that's what makes Ho Chi Minh so special at night. It's not just the nightlife, it's the feeling of the city, the non-stop motion, the sensory overload, the organized chaos, the scooters flying past neon lights, while music echoes through the streets at 1 a.m. We came to Vietnam to experience amazing food, but we ended up falling in love with the experience. And honestly, that's how we ended our first night in Vietnam. And mornings in Ho Chi Minh City feel completely different from the nightlife. The city slowly wakes up, just enough where you can actually take it in for a second. The streets are still packed with scooters, but instead of neon lights, you hear the sound of metal spoons hitting the bowls, coffee being poured over ice, aunties setting up their food stalls, and locals already sitting outside eating before the sun fully comes up. There's this rhythm in the morning here that feels comforting. People grabbing breakfast before work, older locals drinking café soda while reading the news, tiny chairs lining up every sidewalk corner. The city literally wakes up through food. And for breakfast, well, we grab something that locals love, called Bun Rieu. Now, Bun Rieu is something I have loved since as a kid. It's a Vietnamese noodle soup known for its rich tomato-based broth, mixed with bougie crab, pork, seafood flavors. Right, it's savory, slightly tangy, a little sweet, and somehow still feels super light and comforting at the same time.
So let's try it.
Usually, it gets brought with the rice noodles, fresh herbs, tofu, crab paste, and sometimes blood cubes or snails depending on the spot. But honestly, it's one of my favorite dishes that hits differently when you eat it at a tiny local Vietnamese shop.
So you get things like this right here is like crab meat right there. Wow, it looks amazingly good, and everything's combined together for a bowl of Bun Rieu, which like comes like $2-3, so whatever, you know. Ooh, that's gas. Wow, right away. I'm gonna get the heat, the shrimp paste, the freaking broth is so flavorful.
Plastic stools, steam flying, aunties moving, and here we are eating some of the best meals I've ever had in Vietnam. What I love about Vietnamese breakfast is that they don't feel rushed. People just sit, talk, sip coffee, and enjoy the meal. It feels more like a culture more than just grabbing food and just starting your day. After breakfast, we decided to recharge a little bit at some local drinks and snacks.
Refreshing.
What the hell?
Right? It's refreshing.
She said she put no sugar in it. This is straight up crisp.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good. That's crazy.
What is this?
It's the celery and pineapple.
It's okay, you can get it like that.
Which is crazy, but like all I can taste is like juice. That's actually kind of insane.
That's refreshing.
Yeah, insane.
Halftime, but it doesn't look nice, but it tastes good. Much needed.
And also need to drop off food for Henry because, well,
Dude,
Choni boy's dead.
And you just needed that extra rest that morning. Meanwhile, me and Andy decided to keep the day moving. And somehow our next stop ended up being facials at Hai Salon Spa. And Vietnam spa culture is kind of dangerous because once you realize how affordable everything is compared to back home, suddenly getting a facial in the middle of the day feels pretty normal. Offering a full package for a facial at 680,000 Vietnamese dong, which is about $25. Definitely, I've heard cheaper, but honestly, if you're on vacation, sometimes you stop overthinking every dollar and just enjoy the experience. Hi y'all, so we just got our facials. I feel amazing. Andy looks just as good. And right now we are heading to Saigon Square to actually get some shopping done.
Yeah.
You guys told me to get some Dior scarves for her, and yeah, that facial is
nice and refreshed.
Yeah, fuck
You know,
yeah.
we got that glowing skin without any filters, you know.
We headed over to Saigon Square for some classic barter shopping. Now, a lot of people talk about Ben Tan Market.
Hey guys, this is Ben Tan Market. This is where there's just a collective of shops that sell goods that may or not be good, but you know, other than that, it's just a good time. Food, snacks. You know, you practice your haggling.
All right.
Yeah.
Want to see some
Check it
sick?
out.
Want to see some sick deals?
Vendors there are kind of aggressive, so I almost end up coming back to Saigon Square instead. The vibe feels a little calmer, and if you know how to negotiate, you actually find some solid stuff there. Hi y'all, so we just finished our shopping haul. Got a bunch of stuff, got stuff for Jeanette, got stuff for myself, and he got hella shit for his brother and stuff. Now we're heading back to meet up with Henry. He just woke up, it's 7 o'clock. We finally saw Henry awake again, so naturally the only thing left to do was to eat. Hey,
Basically,
we're good.
welcome back. Well, you better be ready tonight because it's gonna be even worse.
I know. And that's how we wrapped up our second night in Vietnam with Pha Ga from this local stall called Cat Tuong. Like about 80,000 or something, right? Pha Ga again. This might have been the best bowls of chicken pho I've ever had. The broth, rich, clean, comforting, without trying too hard. Tender chicken, fresh herbs, soft noodles, chili, lime, simple ingredients that somehow tasted perfect together. And the best part, sitting there late at night. No locals, but just 3 guys hanging out while scooters are flying through the background. I felt like one of those moments where everything is slowed down. No fancy restaurant, no huge production, just a really good bowl in the middle of Ho Chi Minh City. And honestly, those end up being the moments you remember the most. Good morning, Vietnam. It's your boy Tin and the 3 Trio. We're gonna go get these Bánh Mì Huỳnh Hoa. As we begin day 3 in Ho Chi Minh City, we woke up to another beautiful Vietnam morning and decided to start the day with one of the most iconic breakfast foods here, Bánh Mì. And not just any Bánh Mì, but we went to Bánh Mì Huỳnh Hoa, which is basically one of the most famous Bánh Mì spots in Vietnam. Now, Bánh Mì in Vietnam is more than just a sandwich. It's part of everyday life here. People grab it before work, on the way to school, late at night drinking, honestly any time of the day. Crispy French bread mixed with Vietnamese ingredients somehow created one of the best street foods in the world. But what makes Huỳnh Hoa different is how ridiculously stuffed these sandwiches are. The second they hand it to you, it feels heavy. Layers of pate, Vietnamese cold cuts, pork, butter, pickled vegetables, herbs, sauces. They literally overload the sandwich to the point where it almost feels impossible to eat it cleanly. Every bite is messy, rich, savory, and packed with flavor.
The pate is so good.
That pate,
Alright,
they lather it up with pate.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, the one you just took a bite of, I slipped in there.
wow, seriously chill. It's not that bad. It's way less spicy than the fudge chili peppers we ate yesterday. Those were not chill. This is pretty chill.
Yeah, these look different.
I don't know, man. That's kind of spicy.
About 20 minutes outside District 1, we suddenly arrive at what feels like a hidden jungle in the middle of the city. Giant trees, misty pathways, waterfalls, koi ponds, hanging plants everywhere. It felt more like stepping into a movie set than a cafe. And Vietnam's cafe culture is already on another level, but this place specifically was breathtaking. Every corner looked cinematic, people quietly sipping coffee surrounded by nature sounds, and soft music playing in the background. It felt peaceful in a city that's usually non-stop movement. The coffee was amazing as well, strong, smooth, slightly sweet, and exactly what kind of caffeine boost we needed to survive the rest of the day.
What up, y'all? So we are at Oasis Cafe. This is located kind of more in the, I don't know, here's the map. It's located there.
Oh, I see.
Oh, we have some fish food.
You can buy some fish food. It's really hot in this corner, but there's lots of beautiful fish here. These are expensive fish back in the States.
Sitting there for a moment honestly felt like a reset button from the chaos of the city. Eventually, we had to continue our adventure, so after leaving the cafe, we headed over to a tattoo shop called Shiiworks. And this wasn't your typical tattoo experience at all. The artist there was funny. Honestly, some of the funniest and most genuine people we met during this trip. The second we walked in, it didn't feel like a transactional or awkward like tattoo shop. And moments like that always remind me of why Vietnam is one of my favorite places to visit. And somehow Andy decided his first tattoo should be a neck tattoo. Not the arm, not the leg, straight to the neck. Honestly, I was kind of jealous.
Yeah, Jeez, that's crazy.
From there, we grabbed a quick dinner and slowed things down a little bit and started preparing ourselves for our final morning in Vietnam. And none of us were ready to leave yet. Just like that, we arrived to our final morning in Ho Chi Minh City. At this point, I think we were all trying to soak in every last moment before we head home. The sound of scooter in the morning, the smell of coffee, and the aunties setting up food stalls again. There's something about this bittersweet moment of your last morning in Vietnam. It already started making us feel nostalgic before we even left. Our final breakfast, we decided to eat another local Vietnamese dish called Bánh Cuon.
One of this is đặc biệt bánh cuốn. Tấm cắm. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. And then this one here, also tấm cắm.
Okay.
Kind of everything. So we'll share those.
Nice.
Bánh Cuon is a much lighter breakfast dish compared to some of the heavier foods we had earlier. It's made from these delicate steamed rice rolls that are super soft and silky, usually filled with minced pork, mushrooms, and then served with different types of meats, including herbs, fried shallots, dipping sauce, and a bunch of side add-ons that make every bite different. It's simple, it's comforting, and honestly the perfect kind of breakfast to start your day. But more than the food itself, it reminded me of why I love Vietnam so much. The staff were incredibly kind, welcoming from the moment we sat down, smiling, checking on us, helping explain dishes, making conversation through the language barriers. At one point, they even mentioned that kids eat here for free, and honestly, that hit me a little bit. Because that's what I mean when I say Vietnam isn't always about money. There's still a deep sense of community here. People genuinely want to take care of one another, feed people, support families, and create spaces that feel warm and welcoming. And those moments stick with me way more than anything flashy ever could. After breakfast, we spent a few final hours wandering through the city a little. No real plans, just walking, taking everything in, trying to hold onto the feeling of Vietnam a little before leaving. We finally made it to our final food stop, this small local seafood restaurant called Ốc Phi.
So some of the best seafood you can get in Saigon is actually in one of the smaller shops on the side. Today, we're at Ốc Phi, located in Saigon near District 1, and we're trying some of their famous top.
And honestly, this place really blew my mind too. The owner actually came up and sat with us for a little bit, talking with us, getting to know us, laughing with us, like we'd known each other for years. Meanwhile, you could see his wife in the back absolutely working magic over the pan, cooking non-stop while dish after dish kept coming out to the table. Seafood, grilled dishes, sauces, herb flavors everywhere. The kind of meal where the table slowly fills up until there's barely any room left. But again, it wasn't just the food, it was a feeling. The hospitality, the warmth, the conversations, the way complete strangers somehow make you feel welcome into their space like family. And that's why I love Vietnam. Not because everything is perfect, not because it's luxurious, but because of the people, the culture, the energy, and the moments that somehow stay with you long after the trip ends.
Yo, what up guys? It's Andy here with Henry and Tin making a guest appearance, my tour guides for Vietnam, and man, it has been absolutely incredible. Like, from the food to haggling at the night markets, the shops, experiencing riding the scooters through the city with the crazy traffic.
Dude, it was so good.
Vietnam has been one of the most incredible places
for anybody, right? The city is booming, the nightlife is crazy, the food is amazing. Sometimes you're even wondering what you're eating. But at the end of the day, Vietnam is still Vietnam, and if you could ever come back here for your first time, I recommend anyone doing it. As always, Tin, Henry, Andy, we'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys liked what you watched, you can follow, subscribe on one of these, and binge out.